Thank you for coming. I'm going to cover grey water diversion, not grey water treatment, but grey water diversion. I'll cover some of the pros and cons. I'll talk to you about the different aspects of saving water. I'll cover some of the advantage of rainwater tanks and where we feel actually they should work together. And I'll show you also some of the products we have. We have a patent also on the product that we use, and we started also exporting overseas some of our grey water solutions. This is the average. I mean, an average home in Australia uses over 400 litre, of usable grey water per household. Actually goes to waste. So it's coming in, you're paying for that 400 litre per day, and then you're throwing it out to sewer. And that's happening every day. So why throw that water when you can actually reuse it for your garden? And if you don't reuse it for your garden, you're throwing it out, and then you have to buy fresh water to put in your garden. They're doing now, they're working on a national standard for grey water. There hasn't been up to that. Every state had legislation, their own legislation, but now they're working on a national standard, and they were looking at the quantities of water, hand basin about 6 litres per day per person, laundry 34, bathroom, showers about 56, kitchen water 70. Now, with grey water diversion, kitchen is not allowed to be diverted. Why? Because a kitchen has a lot of oil, and actually they contaminate the soil, and actually can affect the soil long term. Also, as far as we're concerned, we always recommend low phosphorus and low salt detergent. Low phosphorus, especially in WA, we have sandy soils, and they tend to actually, go down if you go down to the water table. Now, this is one of the reasons the health department insists that you have a minimum area of disposal, because if you do, like a lot of people are doing, go and buy from Bunnings a little washing machine, hose, and put it in one place, what you're doing, you're actually contaminating the groundwater of Perth. You're putting all your nutrients into one spot, and of course when you're putting it into one spot, what it does, it goes down straight to the water table and eventually gets to the river, and you're creating algal bloom and all types of problems. Now, I'm going to give you the cons and the negatives of grey water. I want you to be aware of these, and then I'll explain why we've still gone with grey water and what we've done to actually resolve some of these problems. Grey water actually is talked a lot now, and 5 years ago when I started working with grey water, nobody knew what grey water was. Basically, I'm going to talk about conventional system. 5 years ago when I first got involved into grey water, the solutions that were there were very large tanks built by plumbers, and you had submersible pumps in there. Now, the water came up to a certain level, and then it basically pumped it out into the garden. Now, the problem with that is that you have a tank. If you have grey water and you have any experience with grey water, if you have the water, put it in a bucket, leave it for 24 hours or 32 hours, and you'll see how it smells. Grey water tends to smell very quickly. Now, national standard requires that you dump that water within the 24 hours. You cannot hold onto grey water, all right? And because of the smell. Now, also, it can be a health hazard. I mean, in properties, you end up with the tanks, and in Queensland right now, northern Queensland, so from Townsville to Cairns, all grey water tanks have been banned. Why? Because of the dengue fever. All right, mosquitoes get in, so these are the negative of grey water. The mosquitoes can breathe in the back. Doesn't mean that you cannot do it in a different way, and that's why we're coming. Now, again, with the conventional method, you have big tanks, you're going to go and excavate, and again, you have the angle of repose, and people think, oh, I'm going to take a very big tank. Now, if you're not allowed to store that water more than 24 hours, why do you need a 10,000 liter tank anyway? There's no way you're going to store that much. Second is, your soil water holding capacity is more than 1 day. So, I mean, even on sandy soil, you have a 2 to 3 day water holding capacity in your soil. So why have a tank? And this is basically the concept that we've adopted when we got into the thing, is there is really no need for a tank to divert rainwater. And that's the concept. So we're not following, actually, with rainwater, you want as big a rainwater tank as you want, as you can. But with greywater, you don't want a tank. And that's the concept. Now, the other issues are, you've got hair, you've got lint, there's all types of things coming through. You need to clean the filters, you need to think, if the pump gets damaged, there is time, to come and fix the pump. You have